Oh, we're streaming our screen. Let's not do that. There we go. Okay. So yeah, my plans for today were canceled. Loki wish we kept streaming earlier, but that's okay. We got a clean slate. Start over. Figure out what we did wrong. Um. So yeah, it has to do with our. Well, we're not even entering the zipline state. At least not yet. So let's see. Let's see what we got going here. Hey, welcome back, Louis. Um. Let's bring this over here to our zip lines here. See if there's anything that pops up. Can I reply on Discord? Yeah, I'll reply after I end my stream here. Although you might be asleep by the time I do. So at the moment, yeah, nothing happens. We're not even registering input with this. Maybe it's because I just messed up the names or something here. Let's see. Oh, well, yeah, we just named it Z. Should be zipline. That's probably why we're getting an issue there. There we go. So yeah, it's the same exact thing. And now it's just a matter of figuring out how we want to handle these hitboxes, or I don't know, maybe we. Okay, yeah, I think the first thing we're gonna do is have it so that our player is running this player exited orb function. I'll see you, Louis. Thanks for stopping by. Have a good night. Yeah, let's try to figure out if player on orb and player dot jump input is equal to, yeah, this is like so it's fishy. And we also have we also have this deactivate. What does deactivate do? Deactivate sets emitting to true, start to false. Basically this happens yeah. So we should rename some of these things. I'm gonna try removing this code for now, and we'll put player exited on orb on the exit state of our teleport state. On the exit of our teleport state. Well, it's actually called zipline. We have to remember that we named it zipline. So we'll run this on what is it? What do we call it? Zipline main node. Let's see. Another stream. Let's go. Yep. I wasn't feeling it actually. I kind of had to force myself to start a stream. That's the way it is from time to time. So yeah, we have zipline parent node. I don't think we've used this yet, so we're gonna have to grab this. And I think, yeah, right now we just grab the parent node of our zipline to tell it to stop moving. So let's actually set this zipline parent node. So we'll do, I know we used get child, or let's see, this is on our hitbox, so maybe we can grab it there. On hitbox entered, we do zipline. Activate node. Let's activate node. Oh, you have to grab. Node.teleport. Zipline moving node is equal to node.getChild. Right over here, we're just gonna say zipline parent node is equal to node, because that's what it actually is. And so, I mean, we could actually just say, I mean, it doesn't matter too much. We could say zipline moving node is this. It's the same thing, but help us out. Hey, how's it going, Cat Dad and British Geek Guy? I remember you guys. Don't remember Cat Dad, but I do remember British from yesterday. So yeah, yesterday we were struggling. Well, we weren't struggling, but like it was like a whole new thing. So I want to, yeah, we have a clean slate now. I know what I need to do. We've renamed our zipline to actually zipline instead of teleporter. Should help clear things up. And now basically all I'm trying to do is have it so that our player communicates a little better with our zipline. We could probably rename this to zipline now. I'll probably save it as a zipline too. I'll leave it the way it is here, but let's go into our directory. Call it zipline. Same with the script. Name it to zipline.gd. Usually Godot is pretty good at like noticing things have been changed, so I shouldn't have to worry about it too much. Thanks Louis, I'll see you around. Welcome Zamfi. Not bad, just started learning coding, so some of this is flying over my head. I'm managing though. Yeah, I mean, if you have any questions, I'd be glad to answer them. Yeah, right now I kind of just go at my own pace, or yeah. I feel like I go at a slow pace. I try to explain everything I'm doing, but if you ever have any questions or like, wondering like, what is one of these variables for, or like what this function does or anything like that, feel free to ask. That's it. I'm more than happy to. So, yeah. So let's see. So yeah, we've renamed this to zipline. Should make our lives a little easier. I'm gonna run it again just to see. I mean, it should work. We didn't really do any changes. Yeah. You're a coder for 6 years. I'm a coder for, I want to say, 8 years. But yeah, I mean, it's a completely different language, and I also have issues. I don't know about you, but I sometimes have issues looking at other people's code. So like when I'm doing a project with someone, like like an assignment for school or something like that, and I had to work with someone, looking at their code always like mixed me up. I always had to be like, I always needed like an extra few minutes to like see someone's code and see what they were trying to get on. You're on day 3, so you've got a bit more struggling to do. Yeah, I mean, the thing that is nice about being on day 3 is that you're going to consume a lot more knowledge than someone who's been programming for a long time. Like for me, I feel like I barely do any learning lately. I wish I could, but I'm just stuck in my own head a lot of the time. Which, I mean, the grass is always greener on the other side. That sort of saying where it's like you always, you wish you were better at programming, but I wish I was more willing to learn. So it works the same way, but now what we're gonna do is grab this zipline parent node, and in our exit state, we're gonna set this to null, and we're also going to run the player exited function there. So on exit state, after we've exited the zipline state, we're gonna say zipline parent node dot player exited orb. And all this function really does is, if we go back, we can see what it does. It's just some variables that our zipline records. So it basically just says that the player is not on our orb anymore. We set the hitbox monitorable to true again. This is basically what checks if the player wants to collide with it again, and then we just play some sounds. That's really all it does. The hitbox that I'm talking about is this one right here. So whenever the player dashes into this orb, we teleport into the orb. You won't see this blue box in game, but when I run it, I'll show exactly what I'm talking about. So like right now, nothing happens, but if I dash while I'm in the orb, it makes us turn into the orb, and I'll get rid of that little arrow right there. In the meantime, since it's kind of distracting, we want to make sure we can get everything else working. There is actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to put it at the end here, because there's one other thing I need to try out. I think we're still going to be registering the hitbox for a split second when we've exited the orb. So like if I jump out now, oh no, it's fine. Okay. But yeah, you might notice it's still buggy. Not for long. And if we stay inside, it'll force us to dash, or we get stuck in this little box right here. These arrows force us to dash in a certain direction. There's no animation for it just yet. That's why it looks kind of silly right now. I can press B and it'll make us dash even like more often, but yeah, we don't want this. Hey, how's it going, Mildon? So what is this game about? If you're talking about the story is kind of about, well, you died. So the main protagonist has died, and they're in this, like, you know, limbo type world, this afterlife, and they're just trying to figure out what they're doing there. The whole idea is that you've come into this place because you're a lost soul, and the only way you can't be a lost soul anymore is to figure out, like, you know, what your problem is. I haven't made too much of the story. Like, I have a good idea of how I want to, like, work on the story, but there's no dialogue in the game, and the only way you're going to progress through the story is, like, with subtle, like, background stuff that happens. So, like, you know, the environment's going to change, or maybe you'll find yourself at, like, a fork in the road and you can pick a path. But there's going to be no dialogue. And there might be, I was thinking there are going to be boss fights, but I probably won't do any boss fights for this demo. It's just going to emphasize on the main mechanics, like the dashing and all that fun stuff. So how do we want to do this now? So we have our player running the player exited orb. This is not, honestly, there's not much going on here, but we do need it there. And then this whole deactivate thing, all it says is start. Let's see what forces the player to exit this state. I know. I mean, once it's done, we do tell the player to get out, but I don't remember what I wrote to force the player out. Oh, if teleporting is false, then we change the player's state into the idle state or the jump state. I think what we want to do here is actually force. I don't know what we want to do here. I'm gonna add a comment here and say, I don't know what state we should end with. So we'll leave it like that, because we could either force the player, like, so if you jump out or if you dash out, you're forced into the dash state. But if it's the end of the road, you just enter for the most part, you just enter the jump state. And I don't know if we want to keep it that way. But now it's important to figure out how we're going to handle hitboxes. Right now, what we do is we tell our zipline whenever we hit something to tell the player to run that hitbox instead. But then once we're forced to exit a state, we're running that hitbox check again. And we can either add a timer to our player to say, hey, don't run that object right now, or we can say if that object already exists in our collision queue, to not run it again. I think those are our two options. Oh, welcome back, Cat Dad. Yeah, so we're just trying to decide which method we want to do. We're either going to add a timer to our player, or we're going to add just an if statement that checks if we've already collided with an object. I think we're gonna do it with the if statement because I'm sick of using timers. We already have so many timers, and we already know that sometimes timers can be. They're not the most reliable, from my experience. So yeah, we're gonna do it with our collision queue. For the most part, in our hitbox, go into our hitbox. Hitbox entered. Usually, we run this function called add to queue. So these are. I originally made this code to handle more than one collision at a time. So yeah, if we collide with a bunch of things, we want to make sure that we only collide with it once. And so I think what we're gonna do, what's weird is that we have body.queue free. Oh, okay, this is for coins. That's not too important. We'll do this. Yeah, for our dash box, we can add to queue body. And before we add to queue, what we could do is we could actually check if that body is already in our collision queue. If it's already in our collision queue, we don't need to add it twice. Isn't GDScript similar to Python? Yeah, it looks very similar to Python. It's not Python, but the syntax looks kind of like Python. So yeah, we'll add this to our queue, and then the thing is, then we wouldn't run this forced dash upon like entering it. We would have to run it in our collision queue. So let's comment this out for now, and let's go into our manage collision. Wait, let me see something. So sometimes we run activate node, and other times we run collision queue. Let's do collision. See if we have something. I think it's called manage collision queue. Yeah, we have manage collision. So in manage collision, we just iterate through all of the objects that are in our collision queue. And if we run it, then we run it. So over here, we'll do if. We should honestly match. Like right now, we're checking for types. Oh, look at that. Our zipline is already here. So what we could do before we add to our collision queue is we'll just check if the zipline is already there. If it's already there, then let's not add it. So let's actually leave that the way it is. In add to queue, we'll do this. How do we check if something is in a I think we use an array. So yeah, we can do has if our collision queue has the object that we're trying to add to our collision queue, then we won't do it. So if collision queue dot has our node. Actually, we just do that. If our collision queue doesn't have this node, then we'll add it to our node. And then that way, when we iterate through it, we'll only iterate through it once. Let me just make sure manage collision is running in the correct spot. Yeah, manage collision is running in our physics process. So we're constantly over and over running, iterating through our collisions. Here's the moment of truth. Yeah, there we go. I think we got it. Let me just bring this forward a bit just to make sure. Okay, so it did not work just yet. Let's see. This is working properly, but this isn't working just yet, and I think it's because we actually never added it to our collision queue. So if we go back into our hitbox, area entered, right over here. So we added it to our queue, so now we have to add it to... What I really should do is for our manage collision, instead of checking for the zipline, we should iterate through all of these objects. We should ask if we can activate these objects, and if we can, then we activate them. Right now, I'm checking for every type, which is kind of it's kind of ugly, especially if we start adding more objects that have different functions to them. But for now, we'll leave it the way it is, as usual, and we will have future practical NPC deal with it. What was this type called? Zipline. And for these it's not zipline, it's forced dash box. So if our object is a forced dash box, we activate it. Is that what we do? No, we don't activate it. Let's look at our hitbox again. I forgot what it was called. We force dash. So ideally, it would actually be nice if we had our force dash box handle this, but we'll do it this way for now. So we have to do forced dash body dot forced direction. So we have to save this object, which should be possible. If we go back into our player, we go into manage collision. Learning Python and C#, but I started Visual Basic 6.0. I realized that version is from 1995. I used it in 2016, but the person who taught me said that it's still really good in the modern day. That works great. JavaScript and C# are my languages. I really like JavaScript. I mean, I'd like to learn some more C#, just because I could use it with more engines. So like if I wanted to use what is it, Unity, I could. That's actually one of my goals for next year. After I finish working on this project, I'd like to learn some more languages. Maybe even C++, we'll see. Think of learning Python after I finish what I'm working on now. Yeah, Python is a great language to learn. It's very good in like most software related, or like more in a lot of industries. Python is really good for, like, you know, information. dealing with data and all that jazz. Unexpected. What is this? What's going on here? We gotta pass. What were we trying to do? Oh yeah. Okay. So all we have to do is force dash of object dot force direction, and yeah, that should be it. I believe we still have to remove some of these objects from our collision queue, but I haven't done that just yet. Yeah, I think I've heard that. Visual Basic 6 is still applicable today. I don't remember where I heard that. Maybe it was from. No, I feel like it was from someone else. Okay, so what we need to make sure of at this moment is, I guess, in our collision queue, once this force dash happens, we need to make sure that it only runs once. And I guess we could do it here. Honestly, now that I think about it, this managed collision queue could work out for a lot of things, for a lot of issues that we might have had in the past. So I mean, like right over here, we would say, we would want to queue free this object queue but we also need to make sure that we remove it from our array here. I don't remember how to remove stuff. Let's see. Duplicate, clear, count. We gotta remove the position. Is there a way to remove based on the key? Probably not, but I think we can figure it out. Oh wait, how are we iterating through this? For object, in collision queue. Yeah, when it comes to like syntax and everything like that, I started out with Java and C++. It wasn't until later that I like learned a bit of Python, and I mean even GDScript. And I used to love, like, you know, semicolons and brackets and stuff like that, but switching over to Godot, like, I guess because, I mean, usually your favorite engine is based, I mean, your favorite language is just based on the last language that you've used or the one that you're most familiar with. So, like, right now, I feel like GDScript is my favorite because I'm most familiar with it, or it's, like, constantly in my brain. There should be an index of or similar to function in the array. Let's see. So I mean, there's a remove, but this is for the, like, we have the index, which I'm not sure how we would grab the, I mean, okay, so what we could do is just add, for object in collision queue, this is giving us the object, so I think we could, I guess we could make like an int I or something like that, if we really wanted to. and that would give us the index. And then we could remove this object. Because right now we're just deleting the object, but the reference is still there. Is it find? Oh, there we go. Thanks. Thanks, Epic. So yeah, we would just have to do what is this? Collision queue dot find object. Hope this is efficient enough. I mean, it is, but it's probably not the best way we could do this. Yeah, I think adding an I would have been like the most optimized way, but this also works. That way we're also not creating a variable every time we iterate through this. What is it? Remove dot remove. Shows how often I use arrays. Dot remove, okay. Actually, let me just see something. I just realized we might have a remove from queue. We could just, yeah, collision queue dot remove. Oh, you know what's funny? That's the same exact thing that's right here. We could literally just write remove from queue that node. Is GD script similar to Python? Yeah. Similar in like Python, similar in like syntax and stuff. I don't know why, but I really wanted to make an interpreted, maybe compiled programming language, but I do not have enough knowledge in programming languages to do so. I was thinking of writing it in C++ still. I don't have too much knowledge in that either. What do you think would be the advantage of writing your only language? Writing your own language in just writing your own language. What would be the advantage of that? Or what would you hope to get from it? So yeah, we could just run remove from queue. I think what we'll need to do, I'm hoping that if we try to remove something, it already, like if you try to remove something that doesn't exist, hopefully it doesn't crash. And I don't think it will. Let's see. The index does not exist in the array, nothing happens. And let's see what find, oops. And if find doesn't give us something, then I assume it returns -1. I think that's what it said. Where's find? Yeah, okay. So if it doesn't exist. So yeah, we'll just use remove from queue. So manage collision. Over here, instead of writing this, we'll say force dash, then remove from queue. And remove from queue, I don't actually think we should be queue freeing this object. We should just be removing it from the queue. And this will be our object. Hey, how's it going, Captain Fubar? Mamma mia, the amount of timers. Yeah, there's a crap ton of timers. Some of them I don't use anymore, and I'm actually trying to reduce the amount of timers we have. Like, I mean, I don't think we use this teleport duration timer anymore. But that's about it. I think we still use all of these other ones. It said you can remove by value with erase. Oh, all right. Well, that's good to know. Let's look at erase. Oh yeah. Okay. Removes the first occurrence of the value in the array. We'll leave it the way it is, but that's good to know for like future uses. So let's see if this works. So we're still getting 2. The reason why we're getting 2 is because we've already dashed out. So yeah, we've dashed once. We're forced to dash out, and then our technically we're hitting that collision again. So we just might have to have a I'm thinking now. We just might need to have a timer. Unless we figured out a different way for these two objects to like communicate with each other. How do I switch between scenes so quickly? So I use OBS, and there's like this, I could basically select what I want to see on a specific scene. And basically whenever I open up the games window, it automatically switches. So I basically only have 2 scenes. I have this scene that you see right now, and then this scene right here. And so whenever this game opens up, it switches to scene 2. That's how it works. That's how I'm able to switch so quickly. Yeah, if you go into tools, I think it's tools. Yeah, tools, and then automatic scene switcher. You'll find it there. It's a little gimmicky figuring out how it works, but once you get it, you'll like it. I can touch a reference to the currently dash zone on the player and only allow the dash zones to work if the currently colliding dash zone is not the same, or if you are no longer colliding with the reference zone. That's a good idea. So yeah, we could do it like that. I'm trying to think. I want to see, before we do anything, I just want to see the force dash function just to see when do we set forced. Okay. Yeah. Disable the zone until yeah. So that's a good idea. I think that's probably, we're gonna do something like that. I just want to make sure everything is consistent with each other, because if we do it that way, I'll have to make sure everything else works like that. But if we go into our collision queue here, or our manage collision, what I'm going to do, instead of removing it here, let's just make sure before we add anything to our collision queue, and I think we already do this, we check if it's already there, and if it's not. So we're, instead of doing force dash here, wait a second. Okay, so the original reason why we didn't do this was because we needed to figure out a way to stop the force dash from happening. So I guess once we force dash, what we could do is tell our force dash not to run again until we've entered the hitbox. It's basically similar to what you're saying, but I just need to make sure that there's a way to communicate that we've already forced the player to dash. Otherwise, this function over here, force dash, is constantly going to run. Another thing that we can do is kind of like run this activate node function. That's sort of what I've been doing with a lot of these objects. And activate node basically runs the activate function on this object. The only thing is that this right now I've made the force dash box super simple, and it just says it just gives us some values, and that's it. And then we have our player handle everything else. Do I have a boolean on the player to store whether the player is currently dashing? So if the player is dashing, I do have a variable like that, but I also, if you're in the dash state, that's it. Like, you don't have to. That is the bool, just being in the dash state. But yeah, I think there is also a dash boolean somewhere in there. I'm just thinking. The old me would just rush into this and you know, add a timer or like add a random variable. And I feel like we still might do that, but I just want to make sure we're approaching this correctly. We could try this. Let's do this. In our exit hitbox, where's that? Hitbox exited. Going to include. Yeah, we still haven't done this. We have to add a force dash box, and then we want to remove from this queue. Thanks for the follow, CatDad. Couldn't you instantly return the force dash function if you're already dashing then? Couldn't you? Oh, thanks, Captain Fubar. Couldn't I instantly return the force dash function if I'm already dashing? Are you saying like tell the wait, give me 1 second. I'll just pass this for now. Basically what happens in the force dash function is when you enter this, we're running force dash, which is this right here. And it just sets some variables to true. Basically the force dash is equal to true, can dash is equal to true, and dash input is equal to true. This basically just forces us into the dash state, and then when we enter the dash state, we run this function right here, which checks which type of dash we want to run. It's going to be this one right here, and I think yeah, in the dash state, we just check if it's a force dash. If it's a force dash, we set it to the force dash direction and reset the force dash direction. That's basically all that happens. I'm not sure what you're asking. Okay. I think your original idea will work. I was just trying to figure out the best way to like implement it. And I think we have an idea here. We do have this remove from queue function, so I'm going to use that in our exit hitbox function. It should only run once, I believe. I hope. I hope. What is my struggle at the moment? Do you mean... So I mean, like, I guess we're struggling to make this work, but I wouldn't consider it a struggle, if that makes sense. Like, we are trying to solve a problem, but I don't see it as struggling. It's kind of like a little obstacle that we're trying to get through. So right over here we do for object in collision queue, and then we just remove that body. Oh, and then we do remove from queue. I guess this is how we do it. Which is weird. Honestly, I think we could just run remove from queue. Old me didn't know what they were doing. I wonder why we did this. To remove. I guess it had to do with hiding interactables. You know, I'll leave it the way it is for now, just in case there's something I'm not considering. But yeah, if you're asking what I'm trying to do right now, basically all I'm trying to do is have it so that our zipline and our player communicate well with each other. So you'll see here that we're dashing twice. We're entering this arrow, which forces us to dash upwards. But right now, when we're inside of this orb, it's detecting this arrow, which forces us to dash up. But then after we've dashed out, then it goes back into our player's hitbox, and our player's hitbox notices this arrow, and then it tells us to dash again. So we're dashing twice, where we only wanted to dash once, and that's why we have this dash orb thing going on here. What we can do is we could create another variable. Not struggling until you've spent 5 hours on it. And you know, I think I have spent 5 hours. Maybe it's been... I mean, I started working on this yesterday, and I think it was towards the end of yesterday's stream where I started working on this. And then the earlier stream today, I was working on the dash. I'd say we've been working on this for like 2 to 3 hours, but the thing is, there's other back-end things that were an issue before. So like before, we named this the teleport. All our states were messed up, so we fixed all of that, and now we're on to like the root of the issue. Or maybe I would say the root of the issue is solved, and now it's trying to figure out the branch of the issue, which is this, figuring out how to get these two to communicate well. And it would have been fine if we can have our player's hitbox sync with the zipline, but that doesn't seem to be the case. So yeah, that's why we have to do it this way. So in order for this to work, force dash needs to be deactivated, and only will be reset once the light comes back. Your light doesn't have to be reset, although that would be a cool idea. So we could technically add a timer that like this object could only force the player to dash once, and then once it forces the player to dash once, it would like turn dark. That would be a cool mechanic actually, and it would work out, and it would solve us trying to figure out how to make this work properly. So that actually is an option. And another thing, so I actually really like that idea, Captain Fubar, but I also want to figure out how to make these. like for just future me, like how would we make this work? In case maybe we wanted to add something that didn't force the player. Like let's say we didn't want to have a timer added to the force dash. We just wanted to do something else, where it was like it always happened. There was no timer. We'd want to make this work out somehow. And what am I thinking here? Yeah, the only thing I can think of is a timer. Oh wait. So we removed this body from the queue. Let me see how activate node works. Yeah, so I'm trying to see how all of these other objects work in our game. So like for a cat or for teleport portal, usually these activate functions either, like for our zipline, when we activate it, we set teleporting equal to true. Like we added a variable, and that was the variable that prevented us from activating it multiple times. Because yeah, you'll see here, if activating is equal to false, then it runs here, and then teleporting is equal to true. Or I mean, yeah, if teleporting is equal to false, this is the only time it'll run, and then we use teleporting equal to true to like negate this from ever happening again. So I mean, we could do it this way. Did I do the pixel art and animation myself? It looks really good. No, I did not. Yeah, I want to avoid timers. Sometimes they're necessary, but like for something like this, it's not necessary. But we might use a timer here. We might just add a timer to our force dash box. It's either that or you add a variable. What we could do is actually create a new variable altogether for our player, like an activate timer variable, so that it can only happen once in a while. But I feel like that seems kind of cheap. I think we'll just add a timer here. Unless you guys can figure out a better way for this. And we'll leave the timer at like, I mean, it could be 1 second, 1 shot, and that's it. We'll call it activate timer, or call it deactivate, activate timer. And then what we could do here is we'll just create a function called activate. We'll do the issue is that you are colliding with the force dash twice before actually dashing. Close. It's I'm colliding with the force dash once when I'm in the zip line. So when you're in that orb state, you're colliding with it once, and then once you collide with it once, it forces us out from the orb. And once we're forced out from the orb, now we have a second hitbox, which is the player's hitbox, colliding with that same orb. So once you're in that, colliding with that same force dash box, and that force dash box is running that same function to say, hey, dash again. Wait a second. No, okay. But the thing is, I was thinking, hey, if we're already in the dash state, let's not run the force dash again. But the thing is, I would like for us to be in the dash state, and I would like for us, like, let's say you dash into the force dash box, it should force you to dash in another direction. But what we could do is check if we're in a force dash. No, but that's still, like, I would still like for us to be in a force dash and be forced to another force dash. That's the thing. Like, I would like to have the option of doing that. So it's not like we can't prevent the force dash from happening unless I don't know. It's literally the main issue is because we have these two hitboxes. We have the zipline hitbox and we have the player hitbox. It would have been so much easier to figure all of this out. Or honestly, it wouldn't be an issue if we didn't have this zipline. Or it wouldn't have been an issue if our player's hitbox would match up to the physics of our zipline here, which is unfortunate. We could try fixing that part of the code, but I think I've tried it a few times, and I trust my past self. Like, I remember struggling to have the player's hitbox sync up with this movement, and it just never worked. Alright, so activate timer node is going to equal activate timer. Oh, ready bar. Hey, how's it going, Fantozer? So when you hit the force dash, it makes the player dash up, exiting the zipline. When the player collides again, activating the second dash, so it causes two dashes to happen. Yes, exactly. It causes the force dash variable to equal true twice. Once when you're in the orb, in the zipline orb, and then once when you're already in the dash state. So what were we trying to do here in activate? Oh, so in activate, what we're going to do is we're going to add another variable called just call it can force dash. So yeah, that is an option, but the thing is, I would still like the ability to have, like, for most cases, it still makes sense to be in a force dash and be able to be forced into another dash again. I mean, we could do it like, so what I mean by that is, like, let's say I put this into, I'll show you right now. If we go into our game, like, if I put this into a square right here, let me do something like that. When you enter this, you're forced into a dash, and then before you exit the force dash, you would be forced to dash upwards again. You see what I mean? So we can't do it that way. Otherwise, you would go here. I guess you would enter the idle state for a split second. That wouldn't be a bad idea, actually. Before you were able to move, you would be forced into another dash, but I guess, like, it would be an issue, I guess, here, but I guess this wouldn't be good level design if we had a box that looked like that. Yeah, chaining the force dashes is what I want, but actually, usually when you're in the force dash, before you exit a dash state, you're entering into the neutral state, so it wouldn't matter too much. Why doesn't the second force dash override the first one? Because the force dash is only a variable. it's only a variable that says enter the dash state. You're still doing a typical dash. It's just that, you know, it's as if it forced you to press the dash button. But honestly, you're actually onto something. We actually could do that. We could literally just check if we're in the forced dash, because I just realized, because we have like an intermediate state, which is the neutral state. So after you dash, you enter the neutral state, and then from the neutral state, you can enter the forced dash state again. So we could do that. Oh my god, I'm like all over the place today. I mean, you guys are helping me though. You guys are giving me suggestions, and I'm like, oh wait, actually this might work. So yeah, it doesn't override it because it's just a variable. The force dash is just a variable and a direction. It's not like it's not a function. But let's see. What we'll do here. What was it? Force dash. So there would have to be a different place where we set force dash back to false. It would have to be at the end of our dash state. Let me just see where force dash is equal to false. Forced dash is equal to false immediately after we run it. So we're going to actually grab this. I'm going to put this in our exit state. So, oh, wait, we can't do it here, because if we are in a dash, man, decisions. It's so hard to, let's try it out. Let's see. Force dash is equal to false. Let's see what happens. Oh, and before we do that, we also need to make sure that we are not in the dash state when this happens. So let's go, or we just need to make sure force dash is not equal to true. You know, you cry, but the thing is, it's so much nicer to use not equals true, because like when I'm searching through my files, I don't remember if I check if it's equal to true or not equal to true. So I like to write it out so that it's easy for me to find. Okay, so it still works, and we're stuck in here. Wait, let me just see something. There we go. Thanks for all the help, guys. So it should work the same way. I mean, with this, it's basically, you guys can't see it here. I mean, actually, if we run our debug here, or like our state here, you'll see we go into dash, then neutral, then dash. And from the neutral state, we can basically do anything. So let's test this out. Oh, whoa. Okay, so we'll have to fix that. Right now I'm in the idle state, and this doesn't work just yet, but if I jump, then we're force dash to the right. Let's try to see if we can avoid that. There is... Wait, let me see something. Alright, so let's just test this out. Oh. Let's get rid of this. Yeah, this room has to be redesigned because I can't catch it here. Oh, there we go. So yeah, the whole point was to die right there, which it works, and dash through. We have to avoid this, catch this orb again. Yeah, we got it. So there's one other issue, and that's setting our global position after we've finished. The slide state seems to be kind of an issue. Let me see. Oh wait, no, it's over here. So we'll fix up the slide state now. Yeah, we always dash to the right a bit, which is not ideal. Ah, Arof music says to get a life. This is my life, man. This is Afterlife. But it's a joke for you. You get it, because the game used to be called Afterlife. I should change this. It's actually called Memory now. But it was Afterlife, and you can actually see on the top. Well, you can't see on the top, but the project file is still called Jacob's Afterlife. That was the original title. It was called Jacob's Afterlife, then it was called Project Afterlife, then it was called Afterlife, and now it's called Memory. But yeah, thanks for all the help, fellas, and now we can proceed. We're that much closer. Originally, I was just planning on... well, yeah, I don't think we were ever... I was never satisfied with the zipline mechanic, and now I think we're a little closer to it. Yep, it's definitely a Windows. I'm on Windows. I'm a Windows normie. I would like to use Linux some more. I have it on my laptop. I'm on a laptop right now, but for like my more mobile laptop, like the one that I take out, that one has Linux on it. Has a Ubuntu, but I can never get used to. I mean, obviously, it just takes time to get used to, but more time than I'd like. Oh yeah, so right now, Force Dash is doesn't run when we're in the idle state. So let me just write that down to make sure I don't forget to fix that bug. It's almost never. It's never going to be like this, where we collide with one of these while we're in the idle or move state. But it's, I mean, who knows? It might happen further. It might happen further down the line. Forced dash doesn't work in idle. You know, I actually do like the design of Windows 11, but I'm just afraid of like certain software not working with it. So I'm just waiting. I'm waiting for them to fix all of it before I make the upgrade. Honestly, I probably won't make the upgrade. My PC is pretty old. Probably won't be. Yeah, I won't get Windows. I'm sure. I feel like the new computers probably have Windows 11 on it, right? Like if you buy a computer today, it'll probably have Windows 11. Alright. So what's left for us to do? Redesign these rooms. Oh, and figure out what's going on in our exit state for the zip line. So what happens at the end of the road, basically once you're done with the zip line, Windows 10 still very wacky and inconsistent, but it feels a lot less simplified than Windows 11. Yeah, Windows 11 looks very like, it almost looks like an Apple or like a Mac, right? Like the UI is on the bottom right here. From things that I've seen, it's like, yeah, it just looks weird. But I feel like we're always just fighting against change. I feel like once I get it, I'll enjoy it. You died when they defaulted the taskbar to the center. Yeah, I guess. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it. I mean, I've used Windows all my life. From like, I think the most notable version of Windows was probably XP that I've used. Like I've used XP for, I want to say, at least half of my life. And yeah, and then I think I probably used 8 for like a year or two. And 10 has been probably, yeah, 10 I've been using since I got this laptop, which was like around 5 years ago. Honestly, by its looks, Windows 11 went much more mobile-like, something that is not desktop-esque, which just pushed me closer to something other than Windows. I see. I mean, a lot of things are turning into more mobile-like. Like if you, I don't know if you guys use Reddit at all, but like Reddit used to look like this. You know, it looked like it was a forum from like 1998 or something. You know. In its earlier days, and then now it looks like like the official Reddit. Like if you have official Reddit on your phone, it looks almost exactly like Reddit on desktop. So yeah, like everything looks like a mobile app these days. Which I don't know. I can see both sides from it. Like I don't use old Reddit. I like the new version of Reddit. It's been 20 years or something since XP, and MS Paint and Notepad still suck. You know, I still use both of those. So what are we trying to do now? So our player is what figures out our direction. What we're gonna do now? Do we want to force our player into the dash state after the zip line is finished? And I think the answer to that is yes. And the way we're gonna do that, let's see. I don't remember how we write this, so let's check our exit state really quick. So the way we did it, it seems like if there's move right, yeah, this was pretty wacky. This was when we had like a built-in momentum kind of system in our zipline. Before, it didn't force us into the dash. How it worked was, if you jumped out, you would keep the velocity of the zip line, and then you would like fall in the same direction as the zip line's direction. Or if it ended abruptly and Yeah, based on which direction it ended abruptly in, he would fall in that direction. But I didn't like it too much, or yeah, I don't think we're going to keep it that way. So what we're going to do instead is we're going to grab the teleport orb's last direction, and basically if there was no input from the player, there was no dash input from the player, we're going to force them into the dash state based on the teleport orb's orb direction, I guess. Now, I'm just curious. We're setting teleporting equal to false here. Wait. Teleporting. I thought we changed that to zipline. No, I guess we didn't. Alright, so it's still called teleporting. We'll have to just make sure of that. So yeah, in our exit state for our teleporter, we save the teleport orb's current direction, and we're going to use this for our dash. So basically what we're going to do is in our state logic, let's go into our zipline. Teleporting is equal to false. If is on floor, we're not going to change our state into the jump state. We're going to change it into the dash state, similar to this one. But instead, when we do that, we're going to check what our previous state was. And if our previous state was the zipline state, we're going to grab that teleport orb's last direction, and that last direction is going to be our dash direction. They might as well bundle VS Code with all Windows computers. Yeah, I would say so, right? That wouldn't be a bad idea. I guess because, was it Microsoft doesn't... I feel like they should just update Notepad. They added sticky notes. I mean, it's not the same thing, but I guess they wanted to have something that was like as basic as it could be, right? Like Notepad it serves its purpose, right? It's just to make a file. It's as basic as it can be. But I mean, like, they have so many things that aren't basic already in their, in their OS. Like, might as well update some things. Like, instead of adding sticky notes, they could have just updated Notepad to work like sticky notes if they wanted to. Or something, I'll let Microsoft know, you guys. Maybe they'll listen to me. The YouTube streamer from the developer from memory will contact their people. I'll have my people contact their people. Okay. So exit state. Let's go in there. We want to grab the zipline. Okay, so yeah, we already grabbed teleport orb last direction. So now when we enter the dash state, this is how we have been doing it, is that when we enter the dash state, this is where we run it. Oh, we already have a zipline here. Okay. But the thing is, we would have to check if there is input from the player. So let's go into dash and figure out how we're going to do that. So right now, yeah, basically if there was just whatever our input was, we run this. But what we could do instead is, well, let's do this. If teleport orb current direction does not equal vector 2.0, you know what we could do, actually? We'll still have the player. We'll still give the player the ability to dash in whatever direction they want. But if vector 2, if our dash direction is equal to vector 2.0, if our teleport orb is not equal to vector 2.0, then we'll set our dash direction to this value here. Set this to this. I don't think this will ever happen. But yeah, we'll leave it the way it is. Let's see if this works. I'd love to make something in Godot past a testing app. Yeah, why don't you? I mean, it takes a lot of time. I've been working on this game for 2 years now, so it's like, it does take a lot of, I don't want to toot my own horn or anything like that. Or I'm not trying to. It does take a lot of dedication. Sometimes you are like discouraged to work on your game. Like right now, I have like all this motivation to keep working. Yeah, there we go. So yeah, we have to fix this. I can't, let's see if we can get through here without being forced to dash. There we go. So yeah, if we just jump out, now we're forced to dash into the last direction of this object. Same here. The only thing is, now when this happens, I mean, we're going to redesign all of these rooms. But dashing through doesn't activate this. I wonder why. Hey, how's it going, Ichachi? Why VS Code? Because it's quite a resource hog, like most Electron-based apps. They could bundle Notepad++ since it's more simple and lightweight than VS Code, and it's open source. I mean, who owns Notepad? Is it? I'm sure Microsoft owns Notepad. I've never seen it anywhere else. I don't see why they wouldn't just upgrade their own software. I'm sure it wouldn't take that much work considering stuff like Notepad is open sourced anyway. Oh, we can't get... Oh, we caught it. Look at that. So good. Yeah, so stuff like that, it's going to force us out. Oh, but you know what's really nice about this is that if we do have this forced dash that comes out, what I was actually thinking of doing is like the whole reason why we wanted to have the forced dash box was to put it all over. Like, so instead of putting spikes in the way of everything, we would have all these forced dashes everywhere. So you would have to avoid the forced dash around it, and so like instead of avoiding these spikes, we would put something like, here, let's open this room up. We put something like this. Actually, get rid of that. We'd put like a box right here. No, thank you. No, later. Later. Yeah, thank you. So yeah, we'd put something like that. We'd use this 4 stash box. I guess downwards? We could actually recycle this for 2 of them. Like we could put it right here. Let's see if this works. I'm not going to do much level design today. We're just testing out the mechanics. I think tomorrow will be our level design day. Oh, and what's going on here? We were like stuck into dash state for a split second. So yeah, it's something like that. And that still hits. Okay. And that hits. How many people would hate you if you changed your IDE's default font from to Comic Sans? I don't think anyone would take you seriously. That's for sure. You could actually drop this down right here. I'm saying we're not going to do any level design today, but I think it's still necessary for us to like try things out while we're here, while we're testing out the mechanic. I think we'd want to move this down a bit too. Comic Sans is the best. I do like Comic Sans. What is the original issue with Comic Sans? Is it that it was like overused? Because it's not like I know it's a meme. It's because everyone thought they were being cool by using it. Oh, let's see. This is messed up here. Or it's not messed up. Forgot we changed the origin of this file here, so it should look like that. Because it was made for Microsoft. I see. So if we keep this to, I think what we might want to do with our whole dash state here is, I think it's a little too powerful when we're forced out of the zip line. So what I think we're gonna do here is, if we don't pick a dash direction, basically if we're forced out of a dash, dash direction is equal to our teleport here. But what we're gonna do instead is we can get rid of this here. We'll pass this for now. Yeah, actually what we'll do here is we'll say our dash direction is equal to this. Otherwise, our dash direction, we might want to set to 120 or 110. Let's see. Sorry, Practical, I gotta go. It's getting late. Yep. No problem, man. Thanks for stopping by. You made the stream exciting. It was fun. It was fun talking to you. I assume if you're a British geek, it's probably getting pretty late where you are. Yeah. You're like 6 hours. You're probably like 6 hours ahead of me or something like that. Almost 10. Okay. Yeah, it's 5 p.m. So you're 5 hours ahead. So yeah, now. Whoa. What is going on here? Motion is equal to our dash direction times 110. Wait a second. I think our teleport orb current direction was never actually set. It was because we were setting it to vector 2 dot right. So if we did vector 2 dot left, let's see. So yeah, we never actually fixed this issue. Or it wasn't an issue, but we never actually implemented this mechanic. It just so happened to be that we were always dashing to the right. So if we do this again, yeah, we dash left. Okay, so we'll you know what I think I'll do? I'll probably actually take a break here. I probably won't stream for the rest of the day. We stream twice. If I do stream, it'll probably be a level design stream. But at the same time, we still need to finish working on the zipline. It's almost done. So we'll get that done later. Tomorrow, probably. But yeah, thanks for watching, everyone. If you have any questions, I'll answer them now. I'll stay online for a bit. But yeah, this is the end of the working part of this stream. I'll stay on for like 5 more minutes or something. I'll playtest the game if you guys would like. We're almost done. Once we're done with the zipline, then we're going to make like 4 or 5 levels with that. Then the final 4 or 5 levels will be including all the mechanics that we've made so far. And yeah, that'll be the end of the demo. After that, after I make the demo, I'll probably release it actually for people to play. But I also, yeah, after I release it, I also want to edit or like polish the levels a bit, like, you know, make them cleaner, add some furniture, more designs, parallax stuff, upgrade the art a bit. Another thing that I did was, I don't know if I did this on stream, but we have the fudging now. So like now you can fudge through tiles. So like if I dashed here, but I just barely missed it, it would push us up a bit. Hey, how's it going, Mauer? I don't know what you're saying though. I just see WTF. Oh man, I see another word that is a word in the English language that might be the same in your language. I have no idea what language this is, but I hope you have good intentions, bro. I don't know what to say. You're asking me to say something, but man, I can't just do that, man. Unless I knew what you were saying. I tried Google translating it, but it doesn't seem like Google Translate is picking it up. Yeah. Yep, this is the majority of the mechanics. I mean, I guess the most popular one that I've liked so far is the teleport mechanic, which should be this next room after this one. And then we have the zipline mechanic, which is what I'm working on now. If I stop dying here, I can show it. Yeah, this is the teleport mechanic, and I think we've got it figured out to a T. There is like a slight bug with it, I think. I mean, right over here you can see that you might have not noticed it, but our exporting position is sometimes different. And my check with that is just to make sure that I reset the player's position. Say it, yeah, you can play my game. It's, here, I'll send the link. So we won't be able to get through here. Actually, yeah, we can. So yeah, this is the mechanic if I can. We'll have to redesign these rooms because they're not designed for how the mechanic works now. Well, you can see right there, I'm forced to dash left. So that's a bug that we'll have to fix. But it's still technically possible to get through. If I have the fast reflexes, let's see. Whoa. No. Well, yeah. No point in trying to beat it. If you want to play the original mechanic doesn't have you dash like that. It's more of a jump. And you could find it on practical npc.itch.io. I'll send that link. There you go. But yeah, I'm going to end the stream here. Thanks for watching, everyone. If you have any more questions, I'll answer them. I'll leave the stream running for a bit. But yeah. See you guys. Bye. I accidentally put stream starting soon. I meant to put this one.